Hello, my beautiful friends. I am Laurel Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep. If we're meeting for the first time, I am an angelic practitioner, a spiritual teacher, and an encourager of souls. And I do this through one-on-one angel sessions, soul mentoring, and a variety of classes designed to inspire your spirit. But for now, the angels and I are here to help you rest. Now, as I start this episode, I want to welcome you to this space because there may be some of you who are listening for the first time. Because in the episode description, I have shared with you what I'm going to be waxing poetic about tonight. And it is this wonderful new appliance that I have been gifted called the Ninja Creami. It's an ice cream maker, and I shared a little bit about it with you in episode 66. And I promised that I would report back, and I do feel like I have quite a bit to say about it. So that is going to be our story time for tonight of the magic of appliances and ice cream and my new Ninja Creami obsession. So I recognize that some of you may have found your way to this podcast because you searched for Ninja Creami. It's a pretty hot, trending hashtag right now. So if you have stumbled across this podcast and you are wondering what on earth you're listening to, it's a sleep podcast with angels. And if you really just want to know about the Ninja Creami, I will put the timestamp in the show notes, and you can go right there to that content. But for the rest of you, I am here to help you rest and connect with the angels who love you so. There is a beautiful, sweet energy flowing through for you right now. It feels clear. It feels bright. And it feels hopeful. I love that energy of hopefulness, especially when it is divine in nature. As I record this, it is Monday morning. I typically record the Wednesday episodes on Monday mornings. And you know what I was reflecting on this morning is that how I have come to love my Monday mornings, which is a miracle because for much of my working life I dreaded them because Monday mornings were the day that I had to slip back on my mask and go out into the reflection of the world that didn't necessarily feel like it fulfilled me. And so I just want to be in this moment of gratitude that this Monday morning I get to come into the blanket fort and show up in a way that feels richly authentic and fulfilling. And I share this energy with you, that you are a blessing here on earth, that you are filled with the wisdom of the ages, that you are a big, bright soul, even if you don't know this about yourself yet. I believe in you. And I know this world is better because you are here. So in this moment, I say a prayer that your life is or becomes a life where you will come to love your Monday mornings because they will signal that you have reached a gateway where you get to show up in the world in a way that delights you, in a way that fulfills you. And you need not know what that's going to look like just now. Your soul knows, and the angels know. And with each breath, you are being guided in that direction. One of the things that I am coming to love so much about this podcast is it's giving me an opportunity to share so many experiences of my life that led me to this moment. You know, when I was going through my awakening, when it felt like every part of my life was dropping away and I didn't know who I was going to be, when I got to the other side of whatever this journey was, I could feel that this journey was necessary because I had been living a life that, while it was lovely, I had a lovely life. I don't want to make it sound like my life pre-2000 was horrible. I had a really good life. I had wonderful friends who I loved. I had my family. I had a great job, and I worked with people that I adored. I mean, as far as, a job fulfillment rating, if you have to work in a corporate environment, it was a really good job. But something inside of me felt deeply unfulfilled. And that was really, really difficult, especially because I didn't know what I needed. It's not as if I knew what my destiny was. All I knew was I wasn't living it. And that's painful. That's difficult. And somehow all of these little moments, some of them were big, but most of the moments were small, and they really could be missed if I wasn't paying attention. And maybe they were missed, but they still happened. We don't have to always be aware of what is transpiring. I don't need to know how my tomato plants bloom. It is a miracle if you could see my tomato plants right now. And to be honest, they're not mine, they're my husband's, because I've done nothing to nurture them other than to purchase them from the garden center. But they are filled with ripe tomatoes right now. So there's times that we know things are in motion. Sometimes we put them in motion. We're like those tomato plants. You might feel like nothing's happening. And then you're going to wake up and realize that you have somehow lived your way into a brighter experience of your life. So just take a deep breath in and let it go. Whatever your it is, let it go. You need not carry it into your sleep state. You have done enough for today. You have done enough in general. And you are walking through a time of transformation. So as I was going through my awakening, I kept wondering if I was lost. Maybe I was just lost somewhere. I was never really lost, though. It just felt that way. I was being guided, and I affirm that you are being guided as well. And I affirm that you are awakening to an expression of your life that will bring you deep fulfillment and love and goodness. And take a nice deep breath in and out. You know, it takes courage to live a bright life. And I don't mean being out in the public. I mean, it takes courage to live an authentic life. And this is what you are doing. Even if it doesn't feel that way right now, I affirm that you are coming into deeper relationship with your authentic self, with your creative spirit, with the dreams of your heart, and the bigness of all that you are. You get to take up space. You get to be your most authentic expression of yourself. And you are worthy of great love. Your life matters. Your voice matters. Your presence is a gift. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for the gift of you. So I'm going to call the angels in. They're already here. I hope you can feel their energy. If you're not feeling it, it's okay. They're still with you. Just take another breath in with me and we'll release. Just allowing your body to come into a state of relaxation. And beautiful angels on high, I invite you to join us here. I ask that you cultivate a space filled with the vibration of divine sanctuary, so that each of the beloveds here will receive exactly what they need in service to their healing, their path, their light. And angels, I ask that you help to clear away anything that does not belong to us, clearing away any heaviness we need not burden ourselves with. Help us leave our burdens in your arms so we need not carry them anymore. And angels, help each one of us awaken to our authentic magic. Help us open to a more wondrous state of playfulness in this world. Help us invoke a lightness of spirit, that even if what is transpiring in the world feels heavy, that we can still have moments of lightness, whether we are working in our gardens, playing with our children, witnessing a gorgeous day here on planet Earth, that there is always an opportunity to see the beauty of this world. And angels, thank you for the blessings you are bestowing upon our beloveds here. Dear ones, just take another nice deep breath in and give yourself permission to drift off. Going into that beautiful mystery of sleep, knowing that you are being watched over by your beautiful team of angels who love you so. And I wish you a good rest. And while you rest, I'm going to tell you a story. Now, I've already shared with you what we're going to be waxing poetic about tonight in this episode, the Ninja Creami. And I just wanted to give an early preview because I just thought there might be some of you who are listening for the first time because you're interested in the Ninja Creami and you're wondering how you made your way to this kind of weird podcast. So just so you know, I am going to be sharing about the Ninja Creami, but I'm going to do so quietly because most of the people who are listening might be sleeping by now. So this is not going to be a loud razzle-dazzle kind of conversation. It is intended to be sweet and loving. And I promise to share with you about my experience with my Ninja Creami. So first, I want to share with you how I came to be the owner of this wondrous appliance. And for those of you who regularly listen to the podcast, you'll know I shared about that at the end of episode 66. But I'm going to share it again because it's a really good story. So I'm kind of obsessed with TikTok. I don't make TikToks, I watch them. And the cool thing about TikTok is it somehow guides you to the areas of life that are interesting to you. You know, that magical algorithm, mumbo jumbo. And voila, you are watching content that is interesting to you. So I made my way to bariatric TikTok because I have had bariatric surgery. Most of you, I think, know that about me. If you want the specifics, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy in July of 2020. So I often look to see what other people with bariatric surgery are eating, what are they doing, because it's interesting. There aren't a lot of people on the planet who've had this experience, and I found my way to bariatric TikTok. And bariatric TikTok has been talking a lot about this super cool appliance called the Ninja Creami. So first off, what is this wondrous machine? Well, you mix up a concoction of some kind. It can be anything, right? Think of it as your ice cream base. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And you pre-freeze it. You put it in this pint cup that comes with your Ninja Creami, and you freeze it for 24 hours. And then you place it in the Ninja Creami, and it blends it to an ice cream consistency. It's amazing. It's not just one of those old ice cream makers. This is a different kind of appliance. So I had been rather obsessed watching people make ice cream out of protein drinks. In the bariatric community, we often rely on protein drinks to help us supplement our food intake. And I'm not going to debate whether or not that's a good idea or not. It just is. So I love ice cream. I love frozen yogurt. And I don't eat them anymore because they have been a dangerous trigger food for me. I gave up sugar in August of 2019 when I attended my first bariatric seminar because I was really committed to getting the surgery. And I had a sugar addiction going on, full blown. And I knew I just had to give it up, that I am not someone who can just have a little bit of sugar. If I have a little bit of sugar, I get to eat all the sugar. So I have had in the past sugar addiction, and I love ice cream and frozen yogurt, and I have given them up. So that I was watching people making ice cream out of foods I get to have. Like I can have a protein shake. I get to have them. And I get to have fruit. And I can use a little bit of almond milk. And people had ice cream. And I thought, what is this miracle? What is this wondrous experience that people are having? So I became rather obsessed with this appliance called the Ninja Creami because of bariatric food TikTok. And it's rather expensive. I think it retails for $199 US, so it is an expensive appliance. And I was trying to justify it. And we don't have a lot of counter space in our house. We have a tiny house. It's not a tiny house. Tiny houses are their own things. But we have a small house. I'll say it. That's more accurate. We have a small house. I already had a Keurig that just sits on the counter because I don't really drink coffee anymore, but I didn't want to get rid of it in case I had somebody over who wanted coffee. I bought this big air fryer thinking that was going to be my thing, and I don't know, the air fryer did not sing for me. I've used it a couple of times. I think it's too big and bulky. Part of me is contemplating going back to the toaster oven. So I already had some appliances that were not in heavy rotation in our house. That I really wanted the Ninja Creami. You know, when, well, maybe you don't. I get obsessed with things. I have this obsessive nature sometimes. And so I kept obsessing over this Ninja Creami. I even talked to my husband about it. I was like, so there's this thing and it makes ice cream. And he's like, yeah, we don't need that. Not that I needed his permission or his buy-in, but we have a really good balance as a couple. And there's things we decide together, right? That's just how we are. If I really wanted to get it, it would be fine. He would support me in it. But I was kind of on the fence. Not really. I really wanted it, but I wasn't sure I needed to spend the money on it. And so if he had been, that sounds awesome, we should totally get it, I would have gotten it. But he didn't sound very excited about it. And I think he was also worried that I would start eating a lot of ice cream again, because he knows that that's a challenge for me. Not that he at all controls what I eat. I don't want to make it sound like that. That's not it at all. But we just support each other in terms of the food we bring into the house. Like, I don't bring sugar into the house anymore. And he's very supportive of that, right? We're very supportive of each other in terms of our well-being. So where is all of this going? So this is what happens. So now it's probably about a month ago, I think, that this happened. So how did I wind up manifesting a Ninja Creami, you ask? Well, let me tell you. So I turned 60 in May, and I have a wonderful friend named Judy, who I also call Judes. And over the month of June, she just would say, you know what? I bought you something for your birthday, but it's on back order, and I don't know when it's going to get to you. I don't even know that you're going to want it. I hope you like it. It's kind of practical. I don't know. You'll know when you get it. And I really had no idea what she sent me. So probably, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago maybe, there was some news that broke in the US that I found tremendously disheartening. I'm not going to get into the discussion of politics here and now, but I'll just put in parentheses. Hi, I'm Laurel. I was raised a Jewish liberal Democrat in Chicago. And parentheses. And you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about. So, that morning, I was not a happy person. I was so unhappy and having all the feels. And I had to go grocery shopping. So I have my grocery bags under my arm, and I'm getting ready to march out the door, kind of, grumbling inside. And I open the door, and there on my porch is a huge box. And on the side, it says Ninja Creami. And I am stunned. I'm flabbergasted. Like, what is this? What happened? Why and how is there a Ninja Creami on my porch? And I'm thinking to myself, because we think a lot of thoughts very rapidly. So all of these thoughts happened in a few seconds. Is this from Wes, my husband? And I'm like, this is not Wes's style. Wes is not, I'm going to surprise you with something kind of guy. We take each other shopping more. That's what we do. And we live in a nice city, but, probably like everywhere else, we have porch pirates, right, that come and steal your stuff off your porch. He would not have just left a Ninja Creami on the porch for me. So I'm like, where did this come from? How did this get here? And so I pick it up. Again, it's pretty hefty. I bring it into the house, and I open the box, and it's from my friend Judy. It's from Jude's. Now, the thing that you need to know if you're new to my podcast is Judy and I have been friends for 35 years, and she was one of my first metaphysical teachers. So there's some lovely psychic connections between us throughout the years, and we often talk about how the energy feels and feeling overwhelmed by life because of everything that's going on in the world, and so we have a lot of back and forth. But I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I told her about the Ninja Creami. I know I didn't. And so I call her up. And I'm like, Judy, wait. Did I tell you I wanted a Ninja Creami? And she laughed and she said, no, but I've been seeing ads for it and I wanted one. So I decided to get you one too, because we need ice cream. I said, oh my God, we do need ice cream. And what the shorthand of that is, oh my God, the world is a dumpster fire right now. We frickin' need ice cream to get through this moment of life. And I just was kind of freaked out in the most awesome way possible. I was like, I cannot believe that you got me a Ninja Creami, because I have been obsessing about it. I have been watching bariatric TikTok. I have talked to Wes about it. I have priced them out. And I'm kind of a thrifty shopper, so I was looking on renewed Ninja Creamis, trying to justify it. And I can't believe you got it for me, because this is exactly what I wanted. And she just laughed. And so it was this incredible, magical gift from my friend Judy. That's how I got my Ninja Creami. So it stayed in the box for a couple weeks, and hers is actually still in the box. She told me this weekend because we've both been too tired to unpack it. It's not that it's hard to unpack, but does that ever feel too hard for you? Something that should be really easy feels like a lot. You know, taking an appliance out of its packaging. It's so hard. And it's really not hard. It just feels really hard. That's where I was at. I was like, this is too hard. I can't do this right now. But then I shared with you about the Ninja Creami in episode 66, and I promised I would report back to you. And listen, our family here with Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, we are a small listenership right now, so it's not as if thousands of you are waiting for my review, but even if it's just 2 of you, I need to tell you. So I opened the Ninja Creami, I got the energy up, and I unboxed it so I could tell you about it. And now here we are. And it has fully lived up to its hype. You know, when you see appliances and you're like, is this going to be all it's saying that it's going to be? I have one appliance I've purchased that has never let me down, and that is my Vitamix. I did it with my husband. We purchased our first Vitamix 12 years ago. It was a QVC special. You know, they're really expensive compared to regular blenders. And I was having a hard time justifying getting the Vitamix. And one night we were in bed and somehow I went to QVC, which I'm not even a QVC person. And they had it on Flex Pay. That's what they call it. And so I only needed to pay, I don't remember what it was, $50 a month for 6 months, and I would own my Vitamix, and so we got it. I use my Vitamix every single morning. I have a smoothie for breakfast every single morning. And I love my Vitamix. It was worth every penny. I use it all the time. It's one of those appliances I just could not live without. But a lot of my other appliances, I don't use them very often, and they just take up counter space. The other appliance I use frequently is the crock pot or the slow cooker, because I don't like to cook. So the idea of just putting stuff in there and voila, 5 hours later I have a meal really works for me. So now I have this Ninja Creami. And I'm thinking, please don't let me down. Please don't disappoint me. Please be like my Vitamix. Be an appliance I can love that will love me back. Does that sound too weird? So I plug it in and I am going to make up some concoctions. Other people might call them recipes. I don't know. It might be, that magical Merlin energy. I'm making a concoction. And the first one I did was I made the protein shake that I make in the morning, my smoothie. There's a protein powder that I like that perhaps I'll tell you about at some point. And so I just kind of made it up the way I would in the morning. So I used cashew milk. That's what I had in the house. So some cashew milk, some protein powder, some spinach, and like half a banana and some berries. And I blended it in the Vitamix because you want to pre-blend whatever you're going to put in the pint container for your Ninja Creami. It has to be pre-blended. So the Ninja Creami doesn't necessarily blend all the ingredients for you. So just so you know, you need to pre-mix them. So I pre-mixed it and I put it in one of the Ninja Creami that I got comes with 3 1-pint containers that you can use to put in the freezer. So one of the pints I used for my protein shake, and I put it in the freezer. The second one, my husband will sometimes let me make him a smoothie. He's not a big fan, but I try to get fruits and vegetables into him as frequently as I can. So I made something up for him. It actually did not taste very good, so we're going to skip over that one. So you freeze your concoction for 24 hours, and then you take it out of the freezer and you put it into the bigger cup that is the Ninja Creami. And the Ninja Creami has 6 settings: ice cream, sorbet, light ice cream, milkshakes, smoothie bowl, and I don't remember what the 6th one is. Okay, but there's a 6th one. And so I spin it as ice cream. And what happens, one of the reasons that things like protein shakes or regular yogurt don't freeze very well is because of the ice crystals, right? It just gets super hard and crunchy and not creamy like ice cream. So the Ninja Creami kind of grinds out the ice crystals. So if you're working with things like protein powders, if you put in a Fairlife protein shake or something like that, or almond milk, the first time through the Ninja Creami, it's going to seem very powdery. But wait, don't panic. What you do is you dig out a little hole in the center and you pour in some more liquid. So if you're using milk or almond milk, whatever your liquid of choice is, you put that in that center hole, and then you put it back in the machine and you respin it. This is where the magic happens. When it is respun, it becomes more creamy. You may need to respin it a few times, adding a little bit of liquid each time. And before you know it, you have ice cream. Bona fide, yummy ice cream. It was magic. So I had my protein shake ice cream. And it was awesome. I figured, well, you know what? We're not going to get into calorie counts because this is not diet centric. I'm just saying it was lovely because I try to eat food that has nutritional value. I don't like to eat empty calories, right? So I like to eat food that has value to me. And so this was delicious. I was getting in my protein. I was getting in some fruit. And it was filling this ice cream need that I had. And my husband's first concoction that I made for him was not good. And he's so sweet. He'll eat it anyways. And I was like, don't eat it. It's not good. You don't like it. I'm going to have another go at this. So you have to make them the day ahead of time. So I made a different concoction for him. And I used vanilla Greek yogurt, right? Which is delicious on its own. And if you don't eat dairy, you can always do coconut yogurt or something. And so I used vanilla Greek yogurt and then just a ton of fruit, berries and some bananas. Maybe I put some mango, I don't remember. And the other thing that you can put in there, and this does not have good nutritional value, it's the exception to my rule, is sugar-free Jell-O powder. You get the boxes of the sugar-free Jell-O pudding, and it's powdered before you make it, but they have good flavors. So I think I put in a tablespoon of the powder of the sugar-free Jell-O vanilla pudding. to give it a little more flavor and sweetness. And blended that up in the Vitamix and then put it in the pint container for him for the next day. And the other one that I did for myself also had the vanilla Greek yogurt, some of the pudding powder, and more fruit. And those were awesome. They were so good. And my husband really liked his. So again, it's a way of getting in some protein and some fruit, and you can put vegetables in there, spinach or whatever you want, and it gets nice and creamy. And it felt very decadent and delicious. So I am now officially obsessed with my Ninja Creami. And if you're on the fence about getting one and you have the discretionary income to get one, go for it. It's awesome. I have 3 more pints in the freezer. And just so you know, I'm not eating these every day. They're special treats. One of them that I'm excited to try is an acai bowl. I love acai bowls. I rarely eat them. If I'm out and about, I might get one from a juice bar every once in a while. My experience in making them at home has been very disappointing. I don't particularly care for them when I make them myself. I think it has something to do with the way the frozen acai sleeves blend up. I don't know. I haven't been a fan of my own acai bowls, but I thought, I'm going to try this in the Ninja Creami. So what I did is I thawed the acai sleeves. They come in these little sleeves, and I poured them into the blender with a little bit of cashew milk, because again, that's what I had, some fruit, and I might have put just a little bit of nut butter in there, I think. I don't remember. So that's one of the pints that's in the freezer. I did another one for my husband with the vanilla Greek yogurt and a bunch of fruit for him. And then I did another one for myself, I think, with the Greek yogurt. Oh, I know. I had a packet of a new protein powder I'm trying out. It's Angel Food protein powder. So I made one with that. And so I have 3 pints that are frozen right now, awaiting the Ninja Creami. So I don't know when we'll have those, but maybe at some point this week I'll blend 1 or 2 of them up. It's very exciting though, this world of Ninja Creamies. I also saw someone on TikTok, where I learn everything now. She just blended up a can of frozen pineapple, and then in another one she did a can of frozen peaches and the juice, not with the sugar, and just put those into the Ninja Creami, and it became sorbet. Again, what a brilliant idea. You can do that with watermelon or, all the fresh summer fruit that's out there. And so I just have to give my full recommendation to the Ninja Creami, because ice cream right now is a bright spot in the world. And it can be a good addition to your nutritional needs if you put the right ingredients in, right? You can make it with the kinds of ingredients that serve you well. And so I'm delighted. What a magical time we live in. I was thinking about that this morning, It's 2022, and I am very fortunate that I live in the Western world, which is a really privileged life compared to what a lot of people experience in this world. I flip a switch and I have electricity. I have a refrigerator and a freezer where I can store my food. I'm so lucky to live here and now that I have access to appliances and electricity and food that would have seemed quite miraculous 140 years ago. You know, we have, my family is very blessed. We have a journal my great-grandfather left behind. And my family comes from Eastern Europe. We're Ashkenazi Jews. And so we have a journal of what his life was like. It was really a hard life. They were very poor. And he didn't always know how he could put bread on the table. And ultimately that led to the emigration to the United States. And so I think about how I live in this time now where I am very blessed that I have an abundance of food. I have access to food when I need it. I'm very lucky about that. I have reliable electricity. You know, so I totally get how frivolous the Ninja Creami is compared with everything that's going on in the world. And I don't want you to think that for an instant I take for granted the blessings that I have. I'm so deeply grateful. And blessings can look a lot of ways. You know, I think about that miracle of just opening the door and there it was, given to me by a friend, right? A gift. And our gifts can look a lot of different ways, my friends. I look out at our tomato bushes, and they're heavy with tomatoes. And I'm not a canning person. I know some people can their tomatoes. I don't have a lot of extra energy at this point in my life for things like canning. I have this fantasy of who I am. I don't know if you guys can relate. The fantasy of who I am, I would totally be canning tomatoes. And I would be making sun-dried tomatoes and olive oil with spices. And I would be very industrious with my tomato harvest. That expression of me also would go to the beach and do sunset yoga. That expression of me would also make gorgeous acai bowls where the blueberries and bananas were cut up just so with a sprinkling of homemade granola. You know, we all have that fantasy version of us. But that fantasy version of me, she's on vacation. The me that I am is like, what are we going to do with all these tomatoes? And we've been giving them to neighbors. I think we may drive some down to my cousins at some point. We're abundant. We're very lucky. I don't know. There's just, I'm so aware of the blessings that surround me right now. It's a Monday morning as I record this, and I'm so grateful. I love my life, and I get to be here with you. My commute was walking through my bedroom into my office. That was it. That's all I had to do. I'm so lucky. And I get to be here with you. This is a miracle. A miracle. In 2004 and in 2005, when I was dreaming of living a different life, I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew that I wanted to inspire others, and I had no idea what that would look like. I just knew I was supposed to do it. In this moment right now with you is a miracle. That we found our way together. Like, how did you even find this, right? Is that not the coolest thing ever? That you are wherever you are right now, whenever you are right now. And somehow this broadcast finds you at just the right time. That's such a cool moment. And I get to love you up. I get to help you remember that there is beauty in this world and that your life matters. And I hope for you that you have someone wonderful who can send you a gift that will just bring joy to your heart, even if you don't know what it is right now. And that miracles are happening for you. And that love is happening for you. And that we are living in a time when ice cream exists. How wonderful is that? I always would tell this joke that when I was contemplating incarnating, the angels said, "There'll be cake." And I said, "Okay, I'll go." "There'll be ice cream." "All right, I'll go." It was definitely one of the carrots that got me to incarnate, the carrot that motivates you. "There'll be ice cream and there'll be cake." "All right, send me. I'll go to planet Earth." So that just was so beautiful that Judy sent me the Ninja Creami. We need ice cream. Oh my God, we do. We do need ice cream. And the Ninja Creami does not disappoint, my friends. So if you have the discretionary income and the counter space for another appliance, Ninja Creami is the way to go. I am so utterly delighted with mine. And I love making concoctions and then seeing what they will become. And it comes with a recipe book that I thought I might read to you from, but I didn't need to. So I hope that you get a present from the universe that delights your heart. I don't know what it'll be, but I hope it's awesome. Let me know what it is when it arrives on your doorstep. In the meanwhile, I send you love, and I'm grateful for you. You rest, and if for some reason you're still awake and you're looking for more companionship, there are many more episodes in the library that you can queue up. So, have a good rest. I love you. I am grateful for you. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.